Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And man, it is the strangest thing to be in the world right now. I am so excited to have these conversations with y'all. And today I have my beautiful brother joining us from Transylvania, Guardian. He's simultaneously streaming to his channel. So if you don't see each other in the audience, we're all spread around and I'll put you up on the screen. So you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, welcome, Guardian. How are you?
Hey, hello, hello. Yeah, we yesterday we did a live meditation. It worked pretty well, and I was doubting that I will have energy to do this too. Thank goodness I'm past my low point during the middle of the day. Like it's been really rough,
Yeah.
energy wise, and yeah, just in general, really rough to like get through the days. Having difficulty sleeping, just doing basic stuff throughout the day becomes very difficult. And yeah, we're a lot of stuff is happening energetically. You know a lot more about the details than I do. So can you like share some of us like some of it, like what is happening right now, and we can like discuss like what can we do about it, or
Right.
like how to best navigate this whole situation.
Well, first of all, I find that the best thing to have in mind is that others are feeling exactly the way you are or something similar to it. And so, like, I feel like the world stopped. That's what I was trying to tell Guardian before we started is if the, like, whatever, I don't know, we've been spinning and the spinning stopped. It feels strangely still. And it does feel like the quiet before a storm kind of energy, but we're in it. Like the past couple of days have been crazy. But first, like let's say what Guardian talked about. So we're leading into the conjunction of Moon and Mercury right now, and this conjunction aligning with the new moon, and the new moon is the following day. The new moon's also the same day that Three Eye Atlas is at its closest. Uh, in proximity to us, it'll be closest to Earth that it will get in its path. And something amazing just happened with Three Eye Atlas. It changed to gold. The color
Oh,
changed to gold. And all of these scientists are scratching their head going, that's not possible. How is that possible? It's changed now red and blue. Some people see green and some people see blue when they see it. It's really fascinating. And that's the the two dancers of the Kachina prophecy of the Hopi people, right?
mm-hmm.
And then it just changed to gold. Gold is the color of the solar plexus. This is a solar kind of energy, but it's Christos, Christ consciousness, lining up perfectly for the solstice. You know, all of these things are all happening in this very, very short, small window of time. And it compounds, you know, like on top of us. We just had the most profound meteor shower of the year. It was striking. In fact, looking at some of these solar reports of like what the sun looks like image wise, you see these streaks across the front of it. It's all of these solar these this meteor shower, and we have another one coming up the day before the solstice. And then, you know, that one's the December Lioness Minorid meteor shower. You know, so there's a lot of, and we know that whenever we get meteor showers or comets or asteroids or whatever word they assign to it, they're little planets, right? And they're all coming with stuff that we're meant to be connected with. You know, we have a lot of different comets out there that there may or may not actually be comets. And so as they rain over the top of us, what's being released and gases and waters and stuff and through our atmosphere is assisting us. It's like reconnecting us with dormant DNA aspects of yourself that you may not have been aware were part of you that's been quieted. And so it's really weird. It feels really weird. I'm exhausted too. Like I haven't been able to sleep forever. And then something just changed with that. How about you, Guardian? You did mention you've been really tired.
Yeah. Well, I did sleep pretty okay. I had 6 hours solid sleep this night, so I'm pretty happy. That's I'm making progress. But yeah, like it was interesting to share also yesterday that the cycles that I experience during the sleep, like when I go to sleep and when I wake up, and like other people were also sharing that they're like waking up around the same time, and it's like I'm tired, but I'm like wide awake and I can't go back to sleep. It's
Hmm.
incredibly frustrating. I'm not sure if it's because the sun or some kind of magnetic storm or some kind of magnetic shift is happening that is like influencing us too. Like it's also visible and apparent in electronics. Like I spend quite a big portion of my day in front of a computer working, and like physical equipment like software is doing weird stuff or is unreliable to like do its thing, and it's very strange.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the same thing as with our body too, because we also function, we have a lot of water in our body, and we also have a lot of electricity in our body, and that's also
That's
very
right.
much impacted by it. So it ain't easy, but yeah, like we're just, I guess, like we're passing through this stormy weather that we're experiencing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that we're finishing up the year of completion and moving into the year of ones. And I see that uh love, I don't know how to say that.
Oh, he's wrong.
LVX,
Like,
Love Lux Will, says, I can't wait till the shedding is done so we can gallop forward to the year of the horse. It's beautiful, but a lot, but it's a lot, it's much. You know, like uh we're moving into the year of the fire horse, and this year of ones is the fire horse, this symbol of Odin and all this stuff. There's a lot of code in what we're about, and so about to go into. And so I feel like a lot of this is like the spring cleaning, or whatever what would be a better analogy is uh the stuff that we're like clearing out while we're deciding what to take with us to our next location, in a way. Like, I'm not saying spaceships are going to come down, we're all going to like climb in there and go someplace else like some people are talking about. it's it's more of we're bringing this to us, but the world around us is a new place and doesn't require the same types of things that we have collected along the way, right? We're purging a lot.
yeah, like also regarding, you said the spaceships and stuff like that. Like, I don't really think that we're visited, or that kind of, or the amount or like frequency by which we are visited or interacted by other civilizations has really changed. But I think like what has changed is our collective perception of it. So we're becoming more aware what's already here on planet
Yeah,
Earth, and like what's already surrounding us. And we're also getting very much aware of all the subtle nuances and stuff that are taking place inside of us, like all the processes of changing and shedding, as Ron mentioned, that we're going through. We're becoming more aware of it. Or
yeah,
if we choose not to become more aware of it, it's intensifying, because like a lot of old stuff, the old things need to come up, and like we need to leave behind everything that's like not working anymore.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And when we're as we shed these things, we don't always realize, like sometimes people associate that with dark night of the soul, because we're shedding relation. Hey, it's 111 right now, speaking of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
um and with like the shedding of relationships, it's not always romantic. It's just individuals who don't align with one another any longer. We're not serving them and they aren't serving us, and so there's a natural parting of ways that happens. Hey, you had 11:11 right then, huh? I thought it was 9 o'clock for you.
Yeah, like it's 9/11 here, but somewhere in the US,
Oh,
somewhere
I
out there,
gotcha.
it's 11/11.
Yeah, in the Pacific, where I use the time zone I used to be on was it's 11. It was 11. Yeah, that's right. Um, and so as we're noticing this happening, this purging of relationships, we're also purging in every other regard, right? Like like for instance, I'm going to go back to this earlier comment because I wanted to say it out loud. What Vegan Vixen says, feeling upside down, inside out, and back to front is so much how I feel right now. Like and that has to do with this purge. Like people are reporting more than anything else, rashes or skin bumps, stuff that their body's purging, like uh coming out of the, like almost ingrown hairs, or even considered perhaps acne, like
Mhm.
stuff. This does, magnesium really does help. Epsom salt baths and magnesium really helps that purging process. So if you're able to, um, I know that uh, magnesium is also something our body seems to be lacking when we have a great imbalance in our sleep. And I've been having the same thing, Guardian. My sleep has been crazy. Like last night, I turned all the way back around to a different schedule. Like like complete. Speaking of back to front, like I feel though it was the day before that I was already feeling like the world stopped. Like if we were in motion, motion just suddenly stopping. And it just feels not unsettling exactly, just unfamiliar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I can't really explain it like in words, but I definitely like during the week and during the weekend, I also felt that I don't know what I felt, but it's like something very strange is happening
Yeah.
all around us, like inside of us. And just as you said, like the vibe of the collective and like what is surrounding us, like our reality is like something really strange but potent is happening. But I can't really put my finger on what it is. But I just felt really strongly that something is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is. Like, so let's talk about Three Eye Atlas for a minute. Do you want to?
Yeah, sure. I don't have any information on it, so please
That's okay.
share yours.
So Three Eye Atlas it's called Three Eye Atlas because it's the third noted or observed, at least according to what they're saying, celestial body that is outside of our galaxy, our solar system rather. And so it's interstellar rather than interstellar, right? And that's what the eye is for. However, the third eye, has been a lot of conversation. So that's kind of a fun little rabbit hole to jump down. However, its connection to a lot of these Hopi prophecies and stuff like that is something you may want to explore individually on your own. There's thing after thing after thing, and we've already had a couple of shows about that. But when it first showed up, it was just beyond Jupiter when they had reported that first seeing it. It was July 1st. This was also, um, they chose not to tell anybody about it till the 4th. Then they told us the same time that they were uh, there was some flooding that had to do with somebody releasing dams in lower Arkansas into Texas. That's it feels very much like North Carolina and parts of Australia where there was intentional flooding happening. Is like a distraction almost. Anyway, before all that happened, I connected with this vessel that was full of individuals. And it felt like a UN, a United Nations kind of gathering of individuals, though the slight majority were Arcturian beings. And I had a whole
Mhm.
conversation. It was this whole thing. And then a few days later, they told us about Three Eye Atlas, that it exists. Like this was before anyone told me. And anyhow, since the closer and closer that it gets to any of our celestial bodies, that it interacts with it. For instance, do you remember in like September they were saying, "Oh no, it's going to hit Mars." And just before that happened, Three Eye Atlas released a couple of probes, little guys came off of the vessel, and they exploded. They went supernova, and it pushed Mars out of its orbit just a little bit, and it stayed that way. It's now orbiting closer to Earth than Mars ever did before, according to our reckoning. And then that caused it to miss Mars, like it pushed it out of the way and kept on going. And the closer and closer that it's gotten to the sun, the more that it's lit up and changed colors. It's indicative of everything regarding the Kachina prophecy, and the two dancers in the sky. Now, what's really fascinating about it turning gold is I guide a lot of meditations, and lately there's been so much Christ consciousness, the Christos, showing us to open how that the solar activity is meant to be connected to our solar plexus in a different way. All this gold stuff is coming up, the golden era, and then it was, as soon as it shifted, like all of these science people that were saying that it couldn't have anything to do with life bearing consciousness or anything, all of a sudden started saying it does. They don't know how. They just it does. There's proof of it now. And not only that, it's not supposed to do what it's done. It's changed its trajectory like it's steering. It's it's got a heartbeat like a pulse. And the closer that it gets to us, the more that it's interacting with our heart centers. And so a lot of people are getting headaches and heart palpitations as a result of its proximity. You?
Yeah. Yeah, like waking up during the night and like feeling that my chest is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just like erratic movement, or just like I mean, our heart has like its own rhythm,
Mhm.
and it feels like sometimes it's like beating like in another direction, or just like jumps erratically from time
Yeah.
to time. Also, like I think it was last night, no, the night before, I also mentioned it during the meditation that I experienced like contracting muscles like in my back, um,
Mm.
between, I think it's called the shoulder blades
Yeah.
in the back. Like they were like contracting together, and I also had it in the sole of my feet, which I never do. Also, I
Yeah.
never have it in my back, so I don't have these problems normally or ever. And all of a sudden, I was like, they were like contracting on their own, and
Mhm.
like very small parts of it. Like I could almost feel like the separate fibers just isolated ways, like trying to contract, and it was very, very strange and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. The muscle spasms and the twitching. People are talking about this all across the board too. Um, I'm noticing the same spot that you talked about, the feet, the soles of the feet, and in between my shoulder
Yeah,
blades.
and it was the
Like
left, my left foot. If it,
that was my left foot too. It was it really was.
yeah,
That's funny. This is it's fun to do this. Like it's fascinating to me how many people have the same symptom across the country. Here's another one. Sunday morning slash Saturday night, my right wrist, like it just started, and hand, it just started to feel off, weird. And then I went live with the live Q&A and I mentioned it, and there were other people who had reported it on Telegram to me. But it was so fascinating how many people across the board, me too, me too, me too, this specific wrist and hand. And
hmm,
it's so the left foot having contractions, I'm just really fascinated because that's the divine feminine side, right? I'm wondering what that exactly was about. But I can say this is that when Archangel Michael answers the question about muscle spasms and twitching like this, he talks about it as being the shaking out. It's like our body's like shake, like a screen that you put like dirt and soil and rocks and stuff, and you shake it like this, and then what you want kind of like releases from it. Um, that's a lot of what we are experiencing right now. It's the purging. you know, um, and with that, the headache stuff, I'm finding that I'll get a headache when spirit wants me to close my eyes because it's easier to receive like a download or healing when I'm in that quieted place. And so I feel like that's what that's about. You know what I mean?
yeah, we'll try to pay attention to that as well to see how, if it really pays off or not. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
very blessed of like not really having migraines, but it did
Good.
came up in the past week or so, and it's not very pleasant, especially that I'm not used to functioning that way. And
Yeah.
it's so frustrating because like my first thought is like have I not ate properly, or I'm missing something? Am I too tired or dehydrated or something? And
Yeah.
like regardless, like whatever you do, it like doesn't go away. There's like this constant pressure or just like heaviness in the body and in your head. It's very
Mhm.
difficult to go through the day that way. But yeah, I was hoping that like these things would subside a bit, because like we are, I don't know, like when did this exactly start? Like more than a month ago. Like we were very
Yeah.
intensely in this like, I don't know, like intense energetic storm or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Like our bodies are being challenged on so many
Yeah.
levels. And I, yeah, like energetically it came through when I like also asked about this whole thing that's happening. And I seen that like December and especially the solstice is like a vortex point through which like everything like circles, and like that's like the focal point of the huge shift that we're going through. So my
Mhm.
huge hope is that we pass the solstice and like it starts to subside a bit
Yeah.
and even
Yeah.
out.
And I feel like that it will. That it's the quieting is like on the other side of it. After the days of Yule are over, which is, I believe, if not, I'm trying to remember. I think the days of Yule ends on like the 4th of January. But then you have the 111 portal. You know,
Mhm.
there's a lot, and it's the year of ones, and so there's a lot of beautiful stuff that's going to happen for that. However it comes through, I can say this is that, you know, well, for one, the Schumann has had a traveling timeline jump the past 12 hours. It's gone. What I mean by it, so you see a big line in the Schumann, a dark line, that's usually we just jumped a timeline, or we merged universes or realities, or however you want to word it. Like existences have merged, and what's the best for you stays. And when that happens, there's usually a strip. And what was happening was it kept flickering. It's weird. It's something you don't see on these kind of measurements. It's a very peculiar thing, and that being that way is telling me that just what we're doing, we're weaving the energy right now. We're unweaving it perhaps to where aspects that, you know, it feels funky getting back into your real energy because we haven't felt be like what it is to be us for so long, you know?
Or it's like constantly shifting.
Yeah,
And we're constantly need to like recalibrate and like rediscover like who do we want to be right now, or at least who do we want to be moving forward in this timeline.
yeah.
Yeah, like should we also like talk about some intention setting, like this period of the year, and energetically with aligning with the new moon is like wonderful
Yeah.
time for some very serious contemplation of like taking account of what has worked and didn't work so far, like what do you want to keep, and especially how you want to move forward and what you want to manifest moving
Yeah.
forward in your life.
So how would you best go about that? Like, um, this is a leading question for you to answer, obviously. Like, if you have a specific intention, let's say a person um, wants to have more abundance in their life. How would you teach to word that to somebody to begin that intention for their coming, not just the coming year, but also like
Hmm.
this following month?
Yeah, well, I usually do a type of review after each year ends. Like I have my questionnaire thing that I need to fill out, like regarding like all the things that I did, like all the things that I was happy about, like all the things that worked and didn't work, like things that I would have done differently or improved. And it's like very useful because like while we're in the middle of our lives, like during the year, like we don't really stop, or at least I don't, to like take account of all the stuff that, or all the progress that I made during the year, because I'm like just going, going, going,
Right.
and this like forces you to like stop and like look back and like actually take account of what you have achieved in the past 12 months or so. And it's really good because it like gives you a completely different perspective of where you are and like how you got there.
Yeah.
And I guess like there are a lot of people like me in this regard. Like I always like want to move forward and like do more and move into new venues and blah blah all that stuff. And I don't really, or at least never appreciate like all the huge progress that I made during the way. I just always function. I just always focus on like, okay, like this is the next step, and I still need to do this, and this needs to be done. And it's very important to like stop and like be grateful for all the things that you already have achieved or already have in your life. And if you like, yeah, like if you want to attract more abundance in your life, then the energy of gratitude is an amazing thing that can really help you to like recalibrate yourself. And yeah, like it's the end of the year, and like take account of all your belief systems, like what is assisting you, what are your beneficial belief systems, and what are the belief systems that are actually holding you back or sabotaging you, that are like keeping you in lack mentality. Like we're conditioned from society and all that, that to be in lack mentality, like
Yeah.
I can never have enough, or this whole competition thing that if I don't win, then I'm going to lose, or I need to take from someone else in order
Right.
for me to have something. And this is all like lack mentality, like that you can never be satisfied or you can never have enough. And the universe will send you experiences to reinforce that belief system.
Right.
So if you think that you, or you believe that you will never have enough money or well-being, or you will never have a good relationship with anyone, then you will get all those experiences.
Yeah.
Because the universe works in a way that it always reinforces what you're currently going through or what you're experiencing, because like nobody's holding our hand in what we manifest. Like from a higher perspective, we are sovereign creator beings, and it's our responsibility what we create and what we put our energy into, and everything around us what functions in that way to reinforce what we want to create in life.
Right.
So this is where being mindful and being very present and being very focused and clear on what you want to create is very important, because we have been always manifesting. Like that's how we are here, how
Yeah.
we are talking right now. But we need to learn to manifest in a conscious way. So that's the task, and like that's the, I wouldn't say like mastery exam or something, but it's a very important like threshold that we need to cross as a human being,
Yeah.
because we just so far we've been just like manifesting all the limiting and detrimental subconscious beliefs that we never even were aware of, and that's not a fun place to be.
Right. Well said. Well said. What your comment that was so eloquently said just now goes along with a bit with say with the God's comment. Be honest about your relationship in view of money. Do your core
Mhm.
beliefs align with what you want slash desire? And that's exactly, you said it so perfectly, Guardian, that it has to do with accepting this reality. Being believing, knowing you're worthy of this reality that you're choosing. Just as you were saying, like so many of us have, old conditioning or some kind of indoctrination or like something that we've been taught to expect what we don't want.
Yeah,
And so
expect
that's
the
what we
worst.
receive. What was that?
I'm like, expect the worst.
Right.
Yeah. Just like my mother-in-law, like she has this mentality that she always expects the worst, and then she can be pleasantly surprised when something goes well.
Right.
And I was like, well, if she always expects the worst, then expect to attract that thing into your life as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I mean, I did this the same thing, and it's this whole. Not that I was a Boy Scout, but it goes along with this same thing. They're like, always be prepared. The idea of the way that it's promoted, though, is if you expect the worst, then you can plan for that outcome. But eventually the expectation of it you realize that it consistently creates it. At first there's like it might happen, maybe suspicion. And then after you've caused that result enough times, now it becomes a belief. So now it's, enough times in a row, okay, and then people will say, that always happens to me. You know what I mean? They always, and just assuming that the worst case scenario is fact and therefore creating it. The nightly news does this for us too,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's wonderful.
right?
It's like this mantra of like, well, it's basically conditioning. So
Right.
repeating the same thing over and over and over again.
Yep. Be in fear. It says 365 times in the Bible, it says, do not be afraid. 365 times in the Bible. You know, if if it was so important to say it 365 times, I don't even understand where any of these church leaders have come up with the way to teach fear in church. Because it's in the Bible. It says don't do that.
Yeah, like it kills your energy. Fear
Yeah.
is the mind killer. So
And I'm not speaking against anything. I just don't choose to participate in I see how that it can benefit some, you know. But um and so just keep these tips and your own also in mind, that manifestation also, it's about um how it feels to receive the thing, whatever that thing happens to be, right? So, uh, one of the tricks that I learned along the way was I would write home to mom, right? Like you're not really going to send a letter, but you're writing down to somebody, like you're going to, as if you're going to mail it, reporting about your amazing life, these
Mhm.
things that just came to pass, like, and what you're doing is you're creating this sensation and the emotion that you would have if it had occurred, rather when it will occur. And so it teaches us that it's already happening through the emotion. That's why fantasizing, using your imagination, and meditation are all so similar. Like it's choosing a new reality, right?
Yeah, like after that, you have to take action in the physical reality to make it
Right,
actually real. Like because we're living in this reality, and that's how it works. So,
right. Well,
but yeah,
like
like
if you're sorry.
yes. I don't know. I just want to say like the visualization and like feeling it is like very important. Like that's like the divine spark. Like when you create the blueprint on of what you want to manifest. Like
Mhm.
that's how everything comes to being. But it's not enough. Like you actually have to take action and be open for the all the wonderful possibilities coming in without any expectations because
Right,
you can never know.
right.
And yeah, like your expectation can be a limiting factor in you
Yeah,
manifesting abundance or wherever you want. Because like you have zeroed in, like I want a specific something, and that's the only way it can happen.
hmm,
And that means that you're like locking out everything else, all
right,
the possibilities for which it could be a reality and be part of your life because you choose to just be focused and be aware of that specific narrow band of possibilities.
right. Like for an example, this is the one that I'm constantly bringing up for people in sessions is uh, what they some people will make sessions with me and they want to learn how to manifest to win the lottery, and
Mhm.
that right
You need
there,
the
just
knowledge
that
to do
statement,
it.
right? First of all, you got to play the lottery to win it, you know, and second, you'll find that there's a lot more than just these 2 points. However, they're the main ones. Is how you're choosing to be very specific to the universe, how abundance will be had. When abundance can come to you in many different ways, and not always is it dollar signs in your bank account, and the desire to have quantities of cash isn't exactly abundance, especially when there's fluctuations and all those things. And and so keeping that in mind, like you said, rather than limiting it, saying that they're manifesting to win the lottery, changing in the words also while you're waiting, while it's happening, um, saying words like can't and afford together a lot. And just in conversation, lots of times we'll find ourselves having financial conversations with our partners or spouses, those we live with, and we won't always realize that what we're doing is we're saying things and manifesting, staying in the lack narrative of life. Saying we
Yeah.
don't have a lot of times changes that frequency to that truth, right?
Yeah, like it's the same. Yeah, like what I did, I mean, I still do, is like shifting these. I wouldn't say it's belief, or what would you call these things when you like repeatedly say something that is like conditioning you energetically. Like, well, how would you call this? I don't know, like
Like,
belief system statements.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, like affirmations.
Yeah, you're these. I wouldn't say like unintentional affirmations because you're not intentionally
Yeah,
want to make yourself less abundant. But yeah, like whenever you do these, especially there's this one that we use, or at least I use very often, is like if something comes up and it would be very challenging or scary, like I would say or state regarding it that, oh, I can't do that, or I will never be able to do that. And that like shuts down everything, like end of conversation, like nothing can
yeah,
flow from that. That's done. But if you like shift it around and you like phrase it in a way that you're like, how can I do that? Or how
mhm,
could I achieve that specific thing?
yeah,
Then like it opens up the possibility of like you receiving all the information and like steps and all the experiences that will assist you in
yeah,
actually getting there in the first place.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's about, I've found too, I've that it that um and it's even more for men, and I don't feel like this isn't like racist or prejudiced or something like that, but men tend to have more of a it at stake, being like they feel like they're responsible for like supporting the family and being the protector and always being well all the time and always bringing in the money and da 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 da, and also being the one out chopping the firewood and repairing the cabinet, and every there's so many parts, and it's a thankless job because everybody highlights the woman. And I'm not saying that the woman doesn't have an important role. I'm a chick and I see my importance. Though what I'm saying here is that um, men, because that part of their voice is quieted more, it's just an expectation that they require, they're supposed to do, that they'll often ignore self. They'll often ignore, take, and women do this too. But I'm just noticing it more and more with the brothers that are awakening that, um, for instance, turning on your healing capacity starts with saying, I'm worthy of healing, and then if you're noticing something out of alignment in your body, I'm healing through this thing. Rather than saying I am, using I am statements against ourselves and then putting a label of illness somewhere in there. We often will find requirement of doing that, calling into our employer to say we won't make it today. We usually, will then say, why? I am fill in the blank. And then we find the energy of that pulling us down. Why? That's immediate manifestation, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you
like
can,
the interesting thing that came into mind is like the phrases that we use or the statements that we use regarding ourselves. Like even if we just do it jokingly, like I know, like I'm unable to do that, or I'm too short, or I'm some
right,
kind of disability or something that is not very favorable. Like
right.
even if you do it like jokingly, it's not very good. I think like Bruce Lee or who said this, that you should like never address or like state things about yourself that are negative,
Yeah.
even jokingly, because your body does not know the difference.
Yeah.
Like you're making these negative statements about yourself and your body is adapting to that.
Right. Right. And choosing to, it takes time. That's the thing. Here's the trick. This is the only trick about it, really, is to not go into place of feeling like shame when you don't succeed in the every second that you do. Just correct it as it comes up, change it.
Yeah, it's a
So we'll say,
learning curve. Like that's how
what's
you
that?
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like also when you fail, I know like there are a lot of people afraid of failure, and I see that a lot. And people that I know more closely or just in general, like it's this taboo, this scary thingy. Like I know it's not pleasant to fall on your face, but it's part of the process. So like,
Yeah.
and instead like taking failure or seeing failure as a negative thing, like twist that around as well and like see it as a learning opportunity and like an opportunity to grow and become more than who you were before.
Yeah. And then you find that you're not losing anything that you've ever been. You, like you said, you're becoming something more. And when you become something more, it's 144. Hey, that rhymes. 144,000. When you become something more, you realize that you're connecting into a merging of higher self, an aspect of you that we would see as higher. And it's simply just releasing these false anchors, these uh, these words that drop us below a frequency in which we want to obtain or be in, and so um being kind to yourself, using self-affirmation words, and noticing the I am statements that you use really does help, as well as, by the way, I don't know if you noticed up here, Guardian, but people were talking about looking for a meditation that they needed, and someone said, wow, I actually found a really good one from Guardian yesterday. um
Oh, awesome.
Anyone who didn't get a chance to see, we want to, what is the violet flame? Maybe we can, because that does help a lot of this manifestation or
Oh
starting a
yeah.
new year. You cleanse, right?
Hmm. So the violet flame, like I'm not an expert on it. I've been using it for 10 plus years. It's amazing. So it's a very high vibrational force that comes from the higher realms, and it is transmuting density, fear, doubt, like limiting belief systems. It also can heal the physical body as well.
Hmm.
So the wonderful thing about it is that it is transforming you on all levels holistically, and it transforms all density and negative energies into higher vibrational energies, aka healing and revitalization and so forth. And it also acts as a catalyst in our growth. So we have a lot of accumulated density and like layers and layers upon debris and density in our system that is like preventing us in like unfolding and becoming our true self.
Yeah.
And it's really good in dissolving that and like working with all the layers upon layers of density and shitty belief systems or traumas that we carry with ourselves. It's really good to quickly and easily transform those. And also like a some I won't say like a disclaimer, but it is a catalyst in our growth. So expect that depending on where you are in your journey, like unpleasant stuff may come up, especially when you're working with the heart energy, because like you need to work through that in order to get to the next level. Like it's coming up and it's unpleasant because that is the thing that is holding you back at that time. So, but in the state of the violet flame, you're in the perfect frequency and perfect place to like work through that. Like you don't have to be afraid of it.
Yeah. And knowing that it's just another housekeeping or spring cleaning, right? You're a lot of times we don't realize that some of these things that we kind of feel like it means home, that we've been connected to for just because we're used to it, it's
Hmm.
not always helping us, and identities, labels, and things like that are kind of an example of something like that, but it's so much more than that. And letting yourself be who you are. Most people don't like being alone. It's because they don't know who they're spending time alone with, you
Yeah, or
know?
like when some people like afraid to be like, yeah, as you said, alone and like in silence with themselves because can come up from your subconscious, and like that's why people love distractions, basically.
Right.
But yeah, like first, if you want to be in a relationship with someone else, first you have to be in a relationship with yourself. So,
Right. Yeah, it's shocking if you really kind of do a sampling of the collective in contrast to what it was before, especially where how few people before even had an inkling of who they are. And it's changed a lot over the past 5 or 6 years to so in such a noticeable way that I've been really pleasantly surprised by it. But it's a process. It's a little bit at a time. And so this purging, using the violet flame on your channel, Guardian's channel is in the description of this video. For those of you who don't know, I don't think it's hyperlinked because I just started, but I'll go back and just correct it. So it will be. Um, this You aired that yesterday live. Your meditation, and you do
mhm.
meditations regularly on your channel.
Yeah, I do them on Tuesday. It's our Tuesday transmutation.
Awesome.
But I missed out last week because I was physically unable to do it. Like
Yeah,
Ascension symptoms are like hitting it real hard, and I was like, I just can't do it right now.
it's a lot.
But I always send out a message to people that don't expect the meditations because I won't be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's beautiful that you do that, that you honor yourself enough to observe your need to take a break. Like you've been a really good example for me in that way, where it's okay to say, I can't make it today. Because there's a part of me that like something like this, like to do a show on YouTube and,
Hmm.
and, like there's this anticipation and people expect you to be there and stuff, but sometimes you just can't. Like, or if you do, it's going to cause havoc in some way, and it's difficult to honor yourself enough to say I'm sorry, guys, and not to have to say I'm sorry. Trying to learn not to say that word.
Yeah, I also need to learn that as well. So,
Yeah, but and we are in this amazing energy right now. There's so much coming in, and I find that it does have a lot to do with the new moon, but the way this new moon is placed, like that it's perfectly aligned with the day that Three Eye Atlas will be closest to us than it will be, like probably ever again, based on what scientists are saying anyhow. And along with that, we also have some amazing things happening the night before, leading into that morning, is that the conjunction of moon and Mercury that you can already see. It's, there's hardly any moon at all. And so to see this conjunction is really kind of comical. It reminds me of like the Cheshire cat, you know what I mean?
oh yeah,
But and then uh so speaking of this honoring oneself, and there's this intention for tomorrow for us to get together in a Zoom meeting setting for Guardian to connect to his guides, the Tehute, the Assyrians. Did I say that right?
I think so. Yeah, relatively good.
Okay, that's the plan for tomorrow. But I mean,
Yeah.
that's just gone on. That would have you going live 3 times in a row, and it's very late for you. So But that's the plan. Starting at 1 p.m. Central Time, right?
Yeah, it's going to start at the same time as we did the event right now. So,
Okay.
but yeah, like just for anyone who has never participated, like it's not going to be aired or recorded or anything.
Yeah.
You can join through the Zoom link, and it's going to be a Zoom gathering basically.
Right.
And everything that was said there will stay there because it's not recorded. So it's
Right.
highly advised to like participate and like also speak during the event because it forms a much better connection.
Yeah.
And I absolutely have not described like what we're going to do. So in the channeling state, I will go into a deeper trance state, and I will let my guides come through and basically translate for them and bring through very high vibrational information from them. Like they are my guides from connecting from Sirius. Like they are a higher aspect of me that is connected to the star of Sirius, and I constantly work with them and communicate with them. But like this is like a more special occasion when actually other people can communicate with them more directly.
Right.
And yeah, like high vibrations will be the moderator for the event.
Right. And so if you can't, if for one reason or another, you aren't able to use your microphone, you can type in your question along in the chat of the Zoom meeting. While you're in the Zoom meeting, I have had people ask me ahead of time to ask a question for them while they're not there, and I've noticed that their presence really helps, especially if you can speak. I've noticed that, just as you said, I've noticed it too. Like, just an observation, the deep connection that can occur if you use your voice. You don't have to turn your camera on. It's okay. He can't see you anyway. But if you can speak, that really does help.
Yeah, like it
Also,
forms a
try to
much
keep it
deeper
around five
connection.
minutes. Sorry, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want to say, like, it forms a much deeper connection energetically, and also they will most likely have questions. So they can be
Yeah,
very
yeah,
talkative or inquisitive sometimes, and the yeah, like many times they ask more questions than state anything, and just like try to guide you in a specific path to a realization of like what you actually want.
yeah.
So basically, you're answering your own questions
Right.
sometimes.
Jessica Black, are you having your baby right now? My
Where
first baby's
in the
labor,
chat
early labor,
section.
has officially started.
Wow. And
So,
congratulations.
yeah, dude, that'll be interesting to see when you have this baby. Congratulations, indeed. Yeah, if you're able to come, it's free, by the way. It's free, it's beautiful, and it's not aired, just like a guardian said, just a reminder. So if you do want to join, please be prompt. If you're not on time, that's okay. We are, as people come in, I mute microphones until it's their turn, and I'll let you know in the comments. Guardian can't see this, but as he's speaking, I'll, as soon as someone's done with their turn, I'll, or right as they're speaking, I'll like post the list so you see who's next, and so
Very cool.
yeah, and so people can know where they're at, and it's advised to have your, maybe take a note. You can even write it in the comments if that's something that helps you. Um, your question, so you can, once it's your turn, because sometimes it's so fun and so exciting, you feel like Ralphie in that Christmas story. He gets put on Santa's lap and he can't remember why he's there,
Oh,
like so get an idea of what your question is before your turn comes. So anyway,
yeah, great idea. Yeah.
yeah, it's really always super cool. So if you don't have any question in mind, just to come and to be a part of it, it's also really cool. And that's tomorrow, unless something changes.
Unless some kind of huge energetic storm happens and I'm unable to
Yeah,
do it. But
yeah,
we
you
will let
never
you know if that happens.
know. And then we've been doing this about once a month or so. So if you know if there's for some reason you can't make it this month, there'll be an opportunity again. I did want to ask you a question though. They're a collective, right? That you connect with the Syrians that are your guides. It's like they're
Not
like
necessarily. Like they're more like a group of beings or a group of individuals, and like they work harmoniously very much together, or like I don't know like how their thoughts work, but I always have someone specific like work with me during the channelings.
Mhm.
And like they're like the main focus or like the main being who is like assisting the whole channeling process and like bringing through like funneling all that information to me basically.
Yeah, cool.
So when I go into the channeling state, I usually most likely just harmonize with one of them, and
Yeah,
it usually changes who that specific being is.
that's really cool. I can say this, I've always noticed them to be very evolved, but it's so evolved and balanced with their emotions. They feel similar to Spock. Like they're so balanced in their emotions that it feels like they don't have any for like the
No, no, like
untrained.
they do have. Although I mean, they are individuals, so all of them are different. I mean, experience them in a much more intimate way than like
Right.
someone who's just listening to it. But yeah, like they have different personalities, but yeah, like they're so balanced that they don't experience that like a huge range of emotions that
Yeah.
like we do here.
And it's fun. I find it to be entertaining because it's very much like connecting to angelic presence too. Though often angelic or other a lot of times they bring forward so much swelling love that dominates the experience. And
Yeah, like it can be overwhelming if you're not used to it.
that's what I was gonna say. It can make your body shake. Like you can feel like you're having like a fangirl crush kind of thing from high school or
Or
something.
just like start crying or being super emotional because of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun too. Like you can ask any question that there's it typically anywhere between 12 to 20 people or so in these meetings. And so like, everyone does get a chance to have about 5 minutes or so. And if there are enough people that are just coming just to listen, sometimes you get to ask more than one question. So it's kind of cool. But
Yeah, just all in the flow and see how it goes.
yeah, I look forward to it. It's really cool. And with
Yeah.
that, that's lining up with the same time that Three Eye Atlas is getting into position. So I think that's really neat.
Oh, it's going to be on Friday. So yeah.
Well, it's the day before, but it's just barely it's like we're here now. That you know how there's always like 2 days before a celestial event and 2 days after, so it ends up being 5 days. You know, but the closer and closer you get to the peak time, it's the strongest.
Yeah. But on my end, like tomorrow when we do the meditation, it's pretty much the end of the day. So it's almost the 19th.
Right, right.
Mine time zone.
Yeah, it's gonna be neat, and if you don't get a chance to join and just listening back to some of the things we've talked about today, keep in mind that the 19th is a very powerful day, and it's a day that of such awesome, cool, energy coming in that if you can take time to pause, reflect, to bring in this. It feels like I keep saying new year over and over again. To me, it feels like that's what this is because we're turning the page into a new energy experience, and so we manifest on this day because on the new moon, we plant what we choose to reap. So, like we're planting, we're reaping, or sowing what we plan to reap, and the full moon in just a couple of weeks after that. So, keep that in mind, right? Um, is there any other kind of guidance for like? I know that this is a collective experience. I don't know if you want to wrap up right now or just answer another thing.
Yeah, like we could answer something and wrap up after that.
Grounding. A lot of people, I would say everybody I've talked to, there's a frequency or a question behind their words. of needing to ground more lately, in a deeper way. And I was wondering if you wanted to give your 2 cents or 25 cents or whatever of how to best help a person who needs to find grounding.
I mean, if you can like go outdoors, it's super helpful. Like be among trees. Although in the northern hemisphere, like nature is very inactive right now, but like spending time outdoors, experiencing the fresh air is super helpful.
Yeah.
I find like taking showers is really good because like the flowing water is grounding you because water is coming through pipes, which is in the earth, and it like conducts that grounding energy. And as water is like flowing across your body, you're also grounded.
Yeah.
And I found that like super, super helpful. And I really found it like very funny. I think I heard it like last year when that like I think Elon Musk or who like he has his best ideas while he's taking a shower. Like he's grounding and being in that flow state, I guess.
Yeah.
And what I want to try out now, I bought like a relatively long, like a copper string, like that they use for grounding in
Yeah.
electric systems. And I need to construct my own grounding little thingy. Yeah, exactly. Although it's like it has insulation, it has plastic around it. My
Okay.
and I need to clear the plastic and like wrap it around like a very big, what do you call those nail, like a
Uh-huh.
pretty, and like slam it into the ground so like it connects with the ground. And also, if you live in a very arid or like very dry place, like make sure that the soil is wet because it's the contact will not happen. You will not be grounding if the soil is
Right.
bone dry. And yeah, like put the string into the soil and the other end like bring it into the house and like connect it to your body somehow. I'm going to like tie it to my ankle or something and like see how it works. Like basically the grounding mats that we've been talking about, I think also last week during the live event, like it kind of does the same thing. Like the grounding mat or whatever you're using is like a conductive surface that's like connecting to your skin, which is
Yeah.
also a very conductive surface, and you connect that to the grounding in the where in the plug, or how do you call that,
Yeah.
electric, how do you call
The
that in
outlet.
English? Oh yeah,
Outlet.
in the outlet. Yeah, I would not do that personally. But if that's the only thing that you have in the city, then I guess you could try it out. I'm not sure if anything else like bleeds into the, if any EMF like bleeds into the
Yeah.
cord or anything. I don't know. Like you have instruments to like test that if it actually works well.
And it's something to be aware of what you're doing if you're going to be tampering with your outlet, because they're, you know, even though the three prong, the center prong of the three prongs is supposed to be the ground, it's not always, doesn't always work right. Like
Yeah,
it.
like maybe it's not connected properly, or
Right.
there are like a cable, at least around here. Like not all cabling in the walls has grounding, at least here
Right.
where we live. Like you have to be specific when you're installing something that you want those types of cables in
Yeah.
your wall. So maybe you don't have them. But yeah, like there are instruments with which you can check basically if it actually works.
Right. And
And I don't know what it's called. Like maybe you know, like there's some kind of instrument that like tests grounding, and I've seen like someone use it in a video, like some
yeah,
kind of little plastic device, and he
I
was like
used it
going
too. I
around
wonder
the
what it's called.
house. Yeah, I don't know. It was he was like going around the house and like testing, hey, if I touch this thing, then am I grounded? Or
Yeah.
he was like testing like when he was like washing his hand in the faucet, like he was grounded. Or when he
Right.
was taking a shower, he was grounded. Or I think he was also like touching some kind of electric appliance in the kitchen and he was grounded, and like he learned that that specific appliance uses grounding.
Multimeter. Thank you.
Yeah. What is called
A
multimeter?
multimeter. Yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
It is. That's correct. I actually used one when at a job I worked at for a while. Like that was one of the things that I did, the electronics inside of exercise boards. But yeah, and so you can go around and find if it's correct. Though, another thing you could do is bring soil into the house, play in it with your
Hmm.
hands, put your feet in it. Like we're known for playing with our hands just because then it's play. It does take longer to succeed. It takes like twice as long than it does for your feet. And you don't have to have your feet all the way in it, buried. It's just enough. I'll put it in a cardboard box now, like because what we were doing was we would like put it in a container that was, and then we'd sprinkle it on like a cookie tray or something. And I'm noticing that when you put it on the metal, it changes the experience, the metal of the cooking tray. And
Hmm.
so just putting it in a cardboard box works just fine. And then we just play with it. Like, you can have little Hot Wheels, little cars that are tractors, so it can be having fun while you're doing it. And then just like you said with the water, one of the things I'm known to do, and I never knew why I did it, Guardian, but my feet, the soles of my feet will ache just a little bit. And my body wants me to have them under running water. And so sometimes you'll see me sitting on the edge of the counter with one of my feet inside the sink, and it's just dripping on my just dripping, like that. That really helps. It grounds us and it regulates our lymphatic system in a way that we don't often let happen, where we
Yeah, like
address.
it reduces inflammation too. Like it's a proven fact. Like they have a documentary about that.
Right, right. There's so much use in it, and so if you can ground right now and just know that you're not alone, that we're all in this weird it. I'm just going to keep saying the same thing because it's what it feels like. I feels like the world stopped spinning. Like if it was at all before, I don't even know. I'm suspicious of that truth. You know what I mean? But like something, and therefore allowing ourselves to honor that energy and to ground as much as you can, be in ceremony. Um, and if you want to join us tomorrow for our awesome group, yeah, um, for our the what Guardian will be in channeling state to allow you to connect and have conversation with his guides and asking questions about whatever it is you want. Oh, I lost your video feed.
Oops. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All is well.
Okay, perfect. And then lastly, I just wanted to add this one more part is that we are still as a normal group. Every Wednesday we meet, and this is today. So if you want to join us for just this is separate from what Guardian and I are doing tomorrow. If you want to join us today for the High Vibe Tribe Zoom meeting, that starts at the regular time. You'll see the link for that in the community section of my YouTube channel and in Telegram. That starts at 5 p.m. So that starts Central Time, which is a little over 3 hours from now is when we'll start that conversation. If you all want to join or anyone wants to join, please find the link and join when you're ready. Um, Guardian, I this has already been an hour of conversation. I can't believe it.
Hmm.
Is there anything more that you'd like to add before we close up today?
No, like I hope we can see some of you tomorrow, maybe.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this. I always look forward to our chats. It just seems like we just started. But and then I'm sure I'll see you again next month on the show. If that's,
Hmm.
we'll have a lot more that's happened between now and then, so it'll be interesting to compare notes. But thank you so much for joining us and doing this. I love uh, our co-creations that we make. So thank you so much.
I also really enjoy it, and I also want to wish Merry Christmas to everyone because most likely we will not see each other until then.
Right, dude. And the happy solstice. You know, we're solstices this Sunday. It's crazy. Right on. Well, thank you so much once again, and I will see you all in a couple of hours, and the Zoom meeting that is our normal weekly thing. Sending you love.